Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to learn how to play my instrumental version of Comfortably Numb, so hopefully you guys have seen that. If not, check out the link in the description and you'll see the performance video for that. Alright, so we're in standard tuning here, just like the song. I'm going to demonstrate each section as it appears in the song. So here is what the first verse sounds like. All right, now let's see if we can break that down phrase by phrase. Pretty simple stuff, but the way I kind of play it is just, sometimes it's for tonal reasons. I play notes on certain strings, so a bit of it might feel a little bit awkward at times, but it's kind of the name of the game, you know, to make it sound, kind of give it that vibe, you know. So here's the first phrase. Sounds like this. All right, so you can see I was moving around quite a bit there. I'm going to start up here at the 11th fret on the G string. Hit that a couple of times in. This is obviously the vocal melody of Roger Waters' vocal melody, up an octave. So we have 9-7 there on the D string, and I play it with those two fingers, and then play 7-6 on the G. Then 9-7 there on the D. So I shifted back, so now I can grab the 10th fret on the B, the octave, and back to that 7 on the D string, and the open A. All right, so this next melody. So I'm 7 on the D string, then 11, 9, 7 on the G. Then shift up to the 9th fret on the D string, and then grab the G note there at the 12th fret on the G string. And then I just grab the octave of that 12th fret of that G, and then just play an octave shape down 9, and 7. So an octave shape is just the same too. You've got the 10th fret there on the A, 12th on the G, 9, 7. So just took it down. So we have this. And then I'm going to end it. That's the 7th fret there on the D, a couple times, up to 9. Then over to the 11th fret on the G. Play it a couple times, then pull off to 9, then back to 11. All right, so that's the whole first phrase. The second phrase sounds like this. All right, so we're going to start here with this. 11th fret there on the G a couple times again. Then a pre-bend, a half step pre-bend. And then we have this. All right, so he got some weird vocal effects that he does, obviously. So we have, just trying to emulate those. 7 on the D, 7 on the G, back to 7 on the D. And then 10 on the B, 9 on the G. Slide that down and then grab the 11th fret on the D and just kind of really slide it down to nothing. All right, and then we'll have this. That's the I Can Heal Your Pain line. So we have this 10th fret there on the A, then 12th on the G. Play that a few times. Then 11, 12, then back to 11 twice. Then back to the 9th fret on the D, then back to the 11 on the G. Pull off to 9, and back to 11. So the whole second phrase sounds like this. All right, now the third and final phrase of the first verse sounds like this. All right, so we're going to start here at the 11th fret there on the G string again, twice. And then kind of a shortened version of what we did earlier. Oh, basically leaving a note out of there. So 9 on the D, then 7, 6. Right to that 7, 6 on the G. Then 9, 7 on the D. And then back to that 10 on the B, and then back to the 7 on the D string, and then that slide of that 11th fret on the D again. So we have this. And then we're back to the 12th fret on the G string. It's going to go between 12 and 11. This is just the basic facts. That lyric, we have this just between 12, 11, 12, 11, 12. And then 9, 7, 9 on the D. And then back to the 11 on the G string. Pick it a couple times, pull off to 9, and back to 11. All right, now we get to the first verse of, the first chorus, and it sounds like this. All right, so now let's take a look at that. Now both courses are similar, especially the first half of them. Each one is kind of the same both times. So the second course we'll be able to learn a little bit quicker. But let's take a look here at this opening phrase here. It sounds like this. All right, so I hope that you know the song well in your head, so you can kind of phrase the lyrics the way he does. So it actually helps me here. I literally have the lyrics at my feet here, so I can read the lyric line and then emulate the vocal melody just by reading the lyrics. So that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm going to start here. I think it helps to bend into the most of the notes here in the chorus. This main note by doing a half step bend. So I'm starting at the 14th fret on the G string and bending It gives it life instead of going. Just bend into it from the 14th fret, half step down. Release, bend back up. Then slide up to the 17th fret, and then slide just down into the 14th fret on the G string. Now I hold that note, I just, kind of extend the melody a little bit there. He does go down to that note, but very quickly and he cuts it off. But I was just kind of hold it for the sake of this instrumental. Kind of fill up space a little bit. Now, sometimes you can choose to go down to this note. Sometimes I'll actually hold the note. So you can choose which one you like. So I go back and forth between the two, just kind of try to emulate the vocal melody, how I'm kind of hearing it. All right, so we start basically with just that. Kind of repeat that again. And then take it down 2 frets, basically. Then again. So you can see I'm always doing a half step bend into that just to kind of give it a vocal quality. And releasing. Then it goes back up to where we started. Now here he does hold the note. Then back. So that's the same when we down to the 12th fret that I did earlier, but then we do this. So a lot of half step bends in there. So this starts with a whole step bend here though at the 13th fret on the B string. And then do it again. Release. Then bends from the 12th fret. Sliding into the 15th fret. So just hear that vocal melody. All right, and then so that I'm just at the 14th fret. I start there on the G, just to lead into this whole step bend to the 15th fret on the B string. Pick it again, and release it, and then that was just sliding up to 17, back to 15, then that's just 17 on the G string, slide down to 14, then play 12, then play 14, slide it down to 7 and pick 7. All right, now we get to the main guitar solo, and I have already taught that in a different video. So I'm going to link to the original, Comfortably Numb lessons that I did, where I taught the main guitar solo and the outro solo as well. So I'll make sure we link to that, so we can skip over that section since it's already been done. And we're gonna now get back to the now second verse. So let's see what that sounds like real quick. Alright, so this second verse is a little bit shorter. So this first phrase sounds like this. So I kind of threw a little tremolo picking thing in there for that real crazy vocal harmony section. All right, so we're gonna hammer on now 9 to 11 to start it. Then 9, 7, 6 on the G. Over to 7 on the D. And that octave again, the 10th fret on the B. Back to the 7. And then the open A. From there, I'm going to play 7 on the D, 9, 7 on the G, back to 7 on the D. And then I'll just jump up here and play these 3 notes, 15, 14, 12 on the B string with tremolo picking. And then, all right, so we have this 9th fret on the D, pull off to 7, back to 9. And then the same thing here, between 11 and 9 on the G. All right, now the second and last phrase in the second verse sounds like this. All right, so we're going to start here, starting once again at the 11th fret on the G string. That's just 11, back then the 9, then 11 twice again. So that's a big shift once again. So 4 on the D string, then 7, 6, 4 on the G. Then jump over here to 7 on the D. Now the octave, the 10th fret there on the B, and the 7 and the open A, so like before. So we have this. Now we're messing around between 12 and 11 again on the G string. I do a couple of pull-offs. So that'll keep you going for the show, that line. And pick 12 a few times. 11, 12, so. Then 9 twice on the D. And then back to the same ending as before. All right, now let's take a look at the last chorus, and this is what it sounds like. All right, so obviously this is a lot of the similar stuff. There's just a couple of slight variations that I thought I should point out. So the first phrase really is so a lot of the same thing. So we pretty much cover that, and then it just starts over. And here, that I caught a fleeting glimpse, he holds that note. And then he holds the note again. And then we take it down. And then this part I play a little bit differently. So I'm just starting here with at the 12th fret on the G, and then into the 13th fret bend on the B. And I just picked it kind of along with the vocal phrasing. Release, then bending from the 12th fret. And then slide up to the 15. And then we end it the same way. Into a D power chord. And then we have the outro solo, which I have covered before, but I just, in the performance, I just kind of started it similar to how David Gilmour starts his, and then went off and just kind of improvised. Because you can get these backing tracks that have like 4 or 5 minutes of it just keeps going, just like they did live. He just takes it live and just goes off on it. So it's a really fun chord progression to play with. Now what I'm doing, the scales that I'm using, are during that entire improvisation was a B minor pentatonic. So So obviously I was adding a few extra notes in there. Now those notes that I'm adding are just out of the straight B minor scale, B natural minor. So it's all you gotta do is B minor pentatonic and then some B minor. And that's how David Gilmour likes to approach it a lot too. He'll do these little he'll throw the notes out of the regular natural minor in there a lot, but it's obviously based around pentatonic. But those are the most melodic notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link to some, I've done a lot of lessons on the scales and minor pentatonic and how to visualize like full scales, like minor scales, natural minor scales across the fretboard. And so that's basically what I was doing, what I teach in those videos. I'm visualizing, and obviously my improvisation courses on at GuitarLessons365.com, it really covers what I'm doing there. But I will link to a couple of lessons, so hopefully you can get a good handle on what's going on there, and you can just create your own improvisation. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.